Welcome to the session. Today I am explaining you about the first PUC syllabus, that too under biological classification. In the last class, I was dealing you about what? The plant or plant kingdom. Under plant kingdom, the first group what we studied partially in the last class was algae. Under algae, there are three classes. The one is Phaeophyceae, and then the another is the Rhodophyceae, and then the another is said to be the Phaeophyceae, like that. So Phaeophyceae is nothing but green algae. Phaeophyceae is nothing but brown algae, what we have already studied in the last class. Today, with the continuation of the algal classification, I am telling you about the last class of that algae is the Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae in the sense nothing but red algae. Why they are red? Due to the presence of the red pigments. So now, majority of the Rhodophyceae members are marine parrots. Most of them, more than 95% we can say, they are marine parrots. Only a very few are found in freshwater bodies. That is their habitat. Now, what may be the pigment they possess? They possess the pigments like chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B with phycoerythrin. This phycoerythrin is the one which is responsible for what? The red color. Phycos in the sense algae, erythras in the sense red. As this red pigment is found in that algae, they are called red algae. The chlorophyll A and the chlorophyll B are what? The essential pigments which trap the light energy and utilize for the synthesis of the food during photosynthesis. The only one difference between the chlorophyll A and that of the chlorophyll B is the chlorophyll A, the molecular formula is C51 H72O5 N4 Mg, like this. Both of them of course contain all these. Only there is variation in the hydrogen and oxygen. So this is chlorophyll A, and this one is chlorophyll B, what I am writing. H70, observe this one, and this is O6 N4 Mg. This is the chlorophyll B. Only in this aspect they are supposed to be differ from each other. And moreover, the chlorophyll A and the chlorophyll B with phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin, as you are aware, is the red pigment which is responsible for the red color. Now, the another is the cell contains what is known as the reserve food material in the form of carbohydrates. The reserve food materials are the Fluoridian starch. Fluoridian starch, that is similar to what? The amylopectin and that of the glycogen. What is glycogen? Glycogen is nothing but a animal starch. It is an animal starch. Amylopectin is also a complex sugar. So similarly, this reserve food material chloridion is also a complex sugar. Now, regarding the reproduction, as like the other algal members, the rhodophycean members are also undergo the similar pattern of reproduction. So, one is the vegetative reproduction occurs by fragmentation of the body, and then asexual reproduction occurs by zoospores, and the sexual reproduction as usual by the production of the gametes. The gametes are of here the three types. In the previous class also I explained you. So just recollect that one. Isogamous in the sense the gametes, that is both male and female gametes, are what? Similar in their size and even in their shape. Both are similar. Anisogamous. Here, one of the gamete, either male or female, is smaller and the other is the larger. Like that. The male gamete, if at all male gamete is smaller, female gamete is larger. If female gamete is the larger, smaller, then the male gamete is smaller like that. Whereas in the oogamous type, remember here the male gamete is always smaller, whereas the female gamete is larger. So here that means oo means nothing but ovum or the egg. Hence remember in oogamous type the female gamete is larger and the male gamete is smaller. This is the method of what? Reproduction, what we come across in rhodophycean members. The typical example for all these is the Gracilaria, Gillidium, Polycyponia, like that. These are the common examples of these rhodophycean members. Now, after studying the algae, now let us know about their economic importance. What may be economically they are important. Now let us go one by one. Remember during photosynthesis, what is get fixed and what is get released. Whatever may be the plant is, whether it is an algal member or said to be the higher members like that of the angiosperms, like that. During photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide is fixed and then oxygen is released. So that means to say, here the algae nearly fix 50% of the atmospheric carbon dioxide for their photosynthesis. Thereby, they are helpful in decreasing what level? CO2 level in the atmosphere, which is one of the gas responsible for the greenhouse effect, causing what? Global warming. So that is the first advantage. And thereby, the another one is, what is released? Oxygen is released. Oxygen is essential for what? The respiration of all lives. No oxygen, no life at all. Can you expect a life without respiration? No. For that, what is required? Oxygen is required. So that means the algae, by photosynthesis, reduces the atmospheric carbon dioxide and increases the oxygen level wherever they are, either in the water media or on the land media, like that. They are responsible to increase the level of the oxygen, which is essential for the respiration of all lives. Then, the algae are the primary producers. In any ecosystem you come across, there are said to be the sequence of organisms like producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and then the quaternary consumers like that based upon the length of the food chain. For all these consumers, which are the source for their food, that is the producers. The algae in any environment serve as what? Primary producers. And the entire life found in that environment directly or indirectly depend on what? These algae for their food. Hence, the algae are supposed to be the primary producers, which are not only synthesize the food for themselves and become directly or indirectly become the source of what? Food for the other lives present in that environment. Then the marine forms like that of sargassum and then porphyra are used as what? Food by the people who are living on the coastal areas. The another one is the hydrocolloids. What are hydrocolloids? Hydrocolloids in the sense water holding substances. Those substances which have the ability to hold water, in a larger quantity they can be referred as hydrocolloids. Remember, protein has more hydrocolloidal nature than that of the starch or carbohydrate. The carbohydrate is having high the water holding capacity than that of the fat like that. That means to say the fatty content or the lipid are considered to be the least hydrocolloid. It cannot absorb water at all, of course. Whereas the protein has rich ability to absorb or hold water. Hydrocolloids in the sense water holding substances. So in there are two water holding substances which are considered to be the protein. That is one, algin. This is extracted from the brown algae. Remember. And then carrageen. This is extracted from the red algae. These two are used as what? Colloidal substances. That is water holding substances. That is it. Then agar. Agar is extensively used in the bacterial culture media. Agar makes the fluid culture media to become solidified like that. Or in other words, agar is extensively used for the culturing of the bacteria in the lab. And this agar is obtained from what? Gelidium and Gracilaria. So Gracilaria and Gelidium are both what? The red algae. From these, this agar is obtained. The another one is chlorella and spirulina. They are very rich in protein. As they are very rich in protein, they use it as what? The food. And particularly these are used even by the space travelers as what? The protein source of the food. These are all right from 1 to 7. All are economic importance of algae. That marks the end of the salient features of the algae, classification of algae, and then the economic importance of the algae. This marks the end of first group of what? The plantae or the plant kingdom. Now let us know about the salient features of the next group by name the bryophytes. Now remember, bryophytes are the first the plants which they try to survive on the land, particularly where there is moisture content. They grow only in the moisture content. Wherever moisture is available, either on the wall or on the rocks or on the logs like that. Wherever the moisture content is available, they grow in mass, particularly during the rainy season. They are the non-vascular plant. That means they do not have any vascular tissues like that of the xylem and phloem. As you are aware, xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is food conducting tissue. So hence, these are considered to be the non-vascular land plants. But remember, they fail to survive completely or exclusively on land, as like that of the amphibians under the animal kingdom. Hence they are considered as what? Amphibians of plant kingdom. The param link between the aquatic params and the terrestrial params. So hence, therefore the bryophytes are considered to be the amphibians of plant kingdom. Next is, the body is called what? Thallus. Plant body is thallus. What do you mean by thallus? I told you in one of my previous classes. Thallus is the plant body with no differentiation of the leaves, stem and roots like that. Here also there is thallus. But the thallus here is having root-like structures, not typical roots, remember. Root-like structures which are unicellular, hair-like. And then they are called what? Rhizoids. These rhizoids are helpful in what? The fixation of the plant body to the substratum. That is the one. The main plant body is what? Gametophyte. Remember the terminologies like gametophyte and the sporophyte. The gametophyte is the haploid body and the sporophyte is the diploid body. In angiosperms and gymnosperms and even pteridophytes, sporophytic body is dominant and gametophytic body is not dominant. But here in bryophytes, the gametophytic body is dominant on which the sporophyte depends. Gametophytic body is what? Haploid, that is N. Because gametes, it produces gametes. The gametes are what? Haploid. The sporophytic body is diploid. It produces what? Spores, that is what? 2N, diploid condition. So the main plant body or the dominant phase of the plant is gametophyte. Whenever you use the word gametophyte, there should be what? The sex organs. Which are the sex organs in the bryophytes? The sex organs are the archegonium, which is a female sex organ, that born on what? Archegoniophore, like this. So this is the, suppose this is the archegonium, and this is the stalk which bears the archegonium can be called as archegoniophore. Just like sporangiophore, which bears what? The sporangium containing spores. And the male sex organ is called what? The antheridium. The antheridium is also present on a stalk. This is antheridium and this one is antheridiophore, like this. Anyhow, archegoniophore is the stalk-like structure which bears what? Archegonium at its terminal end or apex. Whereas antheridiophore is a stalk-like structure which bears what? Antheridium. Antheridium is the male sex organ, archegonium is a female sex organ. Remember, archegonium produces only one egg. whereas Antheridium produces many what? The antherozoids. These antherozoids are get released into where? The water. And in the water media, the egg produced from the archegonium and the antherozoids produced from the antheridium, they fuse with each other, resulting in the formation of what? A diploid zygote. This is the diploid zygote. Why it is diploid? Because antheridiophore is what? Haploid. And the egg is what? Haploid. Whenever the two haploid cells are get fused, resulting in the formation of what? A diploid one. So zygote is a diploid one. Now this zygote, they produce what? Spores. So which are also what? Diploid. Then this zygote produces the sporophyta. The sporophyta bear what? Spores. Spores are what? Diploid. These spores later by meiosis. Remember meiosis is what? A reductional division. Reductional division in the sense what? A diploid cell becomes what? An haploid one. So by meiosis, the spore produce what? Gametes. So this is reductional division and these are what? Haploid. And these gametes later on, they fuse together forming what? Zygote. The zygote forms sporophyte. Sporophyte forms spore. The spore by what? Meiosis form gametes from the sex organs. So before forming the gamete, the spore forms the gametophyte. The gametophyte produces gametes. Like this, there is alternation of what? The generation like that. So the gametophytic body produces sporophytic body, and sporophytic body by means of the meiosis ultimately forms the gametophytic body. Of course, the sporophyte depends on what? Gametophyte. Which is the main phase of bryophyta? It is the gametophyte. So overall we can say the gametophytic body bears the two sex organs. One is the male sex organ by name antheridia, and another is female sex organ by name archegonia. The antheridia produce what? Several antherozoids, whereas archegonium produce only one egg. The fusion between the antherozoid and the egg occurs in where? Water body, resulting in the formation of zygote. That zygote by mitotic division forms what? Sporophytic body or sporophyte. The sporophyte forms what? Spores by mitosis. But the spores by meiosis forms gametophytic body. Now the gametophytic body forms what? The gametes. So like that it is. The cycle is continued. So gametophytic body alternates with that of the sporophytic body, whereas the sporophyte depends upon the gametophyte, and hence the main plant body in case of the bryophyte is gametophyte. Now these are the key features, or even called salient features or characteristic features of what? Bryophyta. If you observe, next we have to consider what? The classification. The bryophytes include mainly two classes. One is the hepatic egg, which is nothing but hepatic in the sense liver. So liver, words are the examples. And the another class is muci, where the masses are the examples. The classification of the bryophyta can be taken in the next class. So this is about the silent features of the bryophytes. So thank you, one and all.